For the people listening to this right now, I'm assuming you're going to be listening to what I have to say on my way of going out the door. And what I mean by that, it took me a hard time to kind of come around with this, and a lot of talking and discussing with friends and people and how I would do this, whether it be a twit longer, whether it be a video or not. And I just didn't feel comfortable with any of that, whether it was public or not, due to the fact that I still feel like I'm friends with these people, even though I feel like I've been used by the people at the same time. Or at least one of them in particular. I do want to say on the record that I like Fred and I like the SOK a lot. I still see them as my friends, even though I feel a little bit used by Fred in a certain way. Not completely used, obviously, but you know, two people have to tango in order for things to get going, if you know what I mean. And this all dives down to my side of the story on the whole TXT situation. It took a lot for me to do this, so hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from as I kind of go through these motions. Before we start, I do want to clarify that me and TXT are on good terms. We're not just neutral, we are on good terms. I have sincerely apologized to him multiple times, and we have talked on a few occasions and are now a part of a Skype group and discussing things along the way as more information comes out. And I do want to apologize to Kiwi Farms and a couple of these other communities who have kind of posted a lot of different information and things like that contradict a lot of the things that I was thinking, and it made me go back and look at my timeline of things and conversations that I was having, as well as discussing things with other people in the same calls and same conversations to get their perspective of it, to make sure that I wasn't misconstrued or confused as to what I was hearing, or if it wasn't just my mind playing tricks on me. So let's go back. So you obviously know about me and TXT if you guys have been paying attention. It's very obvious what happened between me and TXT. I'm not going to get into details with that. What I'm going to get into details with is why I made that tweet. My thoughts are my own and my opinions are my own, and I really... And the day that it was coming on, I posted a screen cap on a Discord channel that's dedicated for the fans of the Sons of Kojima. And it was a screen cap of me trying to subscribe to TXT on his new Twitch account that had affiliate, and seeing that it had Phil's face. I didn't feel comfortable subscribing to it due to the fact that I did not want to see TXT go through any litigations or problems with Phil, and I felt like he should know about it. At the same time, I was in a group conversation and a voice call with a couple people from the SOK, particularly Fred Fuchs and a few other people not in the SOK. And during the process of going through that information, he had suggested to me very adamantly that I should vocally let him know how I feel and show him why that's wrong, because monetization is wrong and so forth. Now, me and Fred have tossed back ideas back and forth on monetization and my thoughts, and I've always come to the conclusion that I feel like I'm defending myself when I'm talking to him, due to the fact that he is very much against monetization of anything related to DSP, and that's fine, and that's okay, that's completely fine. Whereas I'm against monetization of anybody's face in general, or anybody's brands, like using other people's brands. And as we all know, Darkside Phil's face is literally his brand, and he sells it on t-shirts and mugs. I did not feel comfortable giving a subscriber a free subscription from Twitch Prime to TXT at the time, due to the fact that I didn't feel like supporting Phil's brand, nor did I feel like he should use Phil's brand to make money. He's better than that, in my opinion. But more importantly, due to the fact that Fred Fuchs had kind of egged me on, and this wasn't the first time that Fred Fuchs has done this, as many people who have been in the conversations with us can confirm, hopefully, that he has egged me on in other multiple times. Particularly a boxing match with Vider Viking, though I fucking hate Vider Viking, and I will state that again. He is a terrible human being, and I cannot stand that person, and I would love to have a boxing match with the person. To me, it wasn't good to think that way or have that type of mindset, as most people would obviously understand that thinking that way or being that angry and upset can lead to certain consequences that you don't want to have. Nor does it make me feel good as a person to have those kind of sentiments, regardless of the fact if the person deserved it or not. I talked about this a bit in a twit longer as an apology. I talked about a group of individuals and a certain person who had egged me on. And I have an imager list because I was particularly focusing on the SOK, the group chat, and not really the SOK group or SOK themselves, just really Fred Fuchs and certain people in the SOK group chat who was egging me on for multitudes of things, who wanted to see me do it. Even when I said that I couldn't fly out to do these things, or that the Vider had contacted the police and they had contacted the police where I live, and then the police had gotten involved, and that he was trying to get me banned from flying to Norway, and that he almost got me fired. These people continued to egg me on, saying, "Yeah, but you really got to put hands on him. You got to show him why he's wrong. It's going to be great, and you got to make sure you record it." These were conversations, things that were said to me during the time where I was in a very angry and emotional position. I had a guy on the internet who had tried to get me fired, arrested, and multiple different things due to my own incompetence of a tweet, regardless of if I was accurate or not, and so forth, in conversations we've had. So when the TXT stuff happened, before I even tweeted out publicly, I was very much in the Discord group conversation, and there was very much conversations with Fred Fuchs going about telling me to do it publicly and make sure to let him know. What I did not realize was that in the immediate time that I did this, that people like Pascal and certain other individuals, part of the SOK or who were followers of the SOK, would attack TXT in the way that they did. And for that, I am sincerely sorry. I did not intend in my tweet to be used in a malicious manner or as a means to target him. He tried to explain to me the difference between .at people and @ people, as I didn't understand. I'm not Twitter savvy, if you will, but I didn't understand that there's a way to not publicly tweet at somebody and how to directly tweet at somebody. And that's on my fault. But more importantly to the matter is me and him got off the wrong foot due to the fact of miscommunication. He never came to talk to me, and I didn't understand why he didn't want Fred Fuchs as a mediator at the time when we tried to have a conversation. And I thought that Fred Fuchs at the time was a neutral individual. I did not realize or look back until I looked back on the information and started going through things that he was less of a mediator and more of somebody who had an obvious bias in the conversation that was going to be had. Eventually, people, our close friends, got involved and brought us in, and we resolved our issues. And recently today we talked again, and I wanted to go over my information. We started noticing immediately after we resolved issues that Fred had become a little paranoid, and we tried to give him advice. He also became extremely angry at me and another friend of mine, Tom Bahat, who had also been involved in the conversations between me and TXT, and also been trying to resolve the issues between me and TXT. It came down to a very heated kind of discussion where Fred was very angry, and he still is. People started approaching me then at that point to let me know that Fred may or may not want to remove me from the SOK chat group thing that they had, the fans SOK chat group thing, excuse me, and what they wanted to do from there. I didn't take any of that into consideration, nor did I approach him on these subjects. I just took it as hearsay and rumor and did not act upon this thing. But he did contact me to let me know that other people wanted me and my friend gone because we were bad individuals, and we were causing problems for him because of the TXT incident, even though that me and TXT had worked things out, and also even though that I had never personally involved the SOK in what I said to TXT, even though they were personally people who were egging me on to do the conversations that were happening. And they were also the same people who kind of targeted TXT in some way on Twitter. And I strictly want to get this out there. This information that I'm telling you, I have talked to TXT about, and I have shared this information with him, and he believes me. You can ask him these accounts. He believes me. I had witness testimonies in this time as well. I know that a lot of you people might have different opinions of me or different views, and that's fine. I encourage it. There's always good to be objective to or subjective to everything, and to get your own opinion on the matters of things, and always sort of reach out and try to find the information you can. And I'm always been open, or try to be open to discussion as much as can, as long as it isn't something that is attacking or anything like that. So that's all I wanted to say on the matter. That I'm sorry, and that I just want to walk away from it all, and I wanted to kind of relieve myself of what was going on. And this was very hard to do, as I feel like I'm going to be burning bridges in the process of doing this, or people might assume that that I still feel like I'm friends with, but I felt like I needed to get these things out there. I was thinking about providing recordings and conversations, but that's just too much. You could pull anything out of context from that or whatever, and I just didn't want to get into all that. Plus, secondly, it wasn't my recordings to begin with. It was others. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry I kind of dragged on. I will be taking my leave from the community, and hopefully that the community I didn't even know I was a part of, really, but hopefully I'll still be me, and hopefully people will just kind of understand that and leave it as it is there, and it'll give a better clarity or understanding on my side of things and the conversations that we kind of had. And I'm more than willing to discuss anything with people if they just approach me and ask me in a kind manner, whether it's DMs or not. It just depends on the subject of the talk. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and thank you so much. Take care.